Hello everyone, how is it going? This is the Video Gamer 64 and Physical Media Guy 64 slash Movie Collector 64 here. And today I am going to be showing my entire 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray collection of movies. Don't have too many of them where I would have to divide them up in parts. So it's going to be all in one video. That's right, all in one video. And anyway, without further ado, let's get started. The first film I pull out is with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, and the movie's called Castlevania. Now, this is a timeless classic film from the 1940s. I think it came out in 41, 42. Correct me if I'm mistaken. But this was one of the best early 40s films ever made. To me, it's one of the best films ever made, period. So this is Casablanca featuring Humphrey Bogart. Next, we got the 2022 release of Scream. Now, this is not, well, it's not, it don't say Scream 5, but really it's Scream 5 or Scream the Reboot or whatever. Anyway, it features Nev Campbell. I don't think it even features Nev Campbell. Yeah, it does in the front, duh. I don't know why I said that because I seen it. But it features David Arquette and Nev Campbell. Now, this is a very good film. I won't give any spoilers to any of these movies. It's spoiler free. But you have to check this out. And I seen Scream 6 in theaters, and that was a good film too. So I can't wait to get that on 4K when it comes out, if it hasn't come out already. Next, we got the movie Top Gun from the 1980s. This is the 4K and Blu-ray, same as, well, the same as this, obviously. It says 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray and digital. Now, this is a good Tom Tom Cruise film. It's from the 80s, one of the best 80s films ever made for sure. And yeah, so basically he plays as a role of Maverick. Pretty good film. I recommend it. Next, we got, it's a good film, don't get me wrong, but the way they shot it in 4K, it was. But anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, it's Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now, this is my favorite Terminator film of all time. I remember watching it on VHS as a kid and fell in love with the film. And yeah, so I figured I would get it on 4K Ultra HD. It's a good film, but the way they shot the quality, it was okay. Anyway, that's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, one of my favorite films of the 90s. And I know my opinion on this one's going to be controversial because a lot of people hated this film when it came out. But I love the dueling at the end with Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul. That will always be one of my favorite Star Wars fights. And this film came out when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember going to see it in theaters. And I was crazy over it, especially the pod races and stuff, and the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I really like this film. I like the prequels, and I like the original trilogy. And I like 7, 8, and 9, but to me, you can't beat the prequels and the original trilogy, of course. Anyway, this is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Next, we got a classic movie with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and Sharon Stone. It's a Martin Scorsese film, and it's from 1995 called Casino. It says feature HDR for brighter, deeper, and more lifelike colors. And this is what it looks like in the back of it. And comes with the Blu-ray movie and bonus features, plus the 4K Ultra HD movie and bonus features. And I really like the way they shot this film in 4K. Like redid it in 4K format. It looks really good. The quality's there. It's top quality, as a matter of fact. And I recommend this movie to anybody that hasn't seen it. It's from 1995. Now, this is my favorite movie of all time. And this and another movie I'm going to show later on in the video. Anyway, it features Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's the gold edition of Scarface. Ooh, gold edition. Anyway, it features the 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and digital code. Now, this is a classic film. It looks better on 4K than it does on Blu-ray, and it's 4 times sharper than Full HD with HDR for brighter, deeper, and more lifelike color. Yep, it's true. It's damn true. But yeah. Anyway, this is a classic film. It's about a drug dealer, and well, it's about Al Pacino starting off low, and he becomes a drug dealer, and makes his way to the top, and everything. And at the end, it's really sad how he falls. But it's a good film. Recommend it. Next, we got the 1979 Ellie. Now, this is the very first one on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. I love this film. I love all these films I have, really, that on 4K. It's just some of the qualities are hit and miss, especially the newer ones. But the classic films like these have good quality. And it's Ellie in 40th Anniversary Edition. And it says the one that started it all, and that is true. One of the best horror films ever made, or science fiction films ever made. And I love the way this cover looks. Some of these movies I had the slipcover of, and some of them I don't. But that's how I get all these films, just the way they are. And yeah, so this is a great film, and I really recommend y'all watching Alien if y'all haven't seen it. Makes you wonder, that in Star Wars makes you wonder if there's life out there on other planets. Personally, I believe it. Anyway, next we got a Tom Hardy film, and it's from 2018, I think. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Yeah, it says 2018 on this one. Anyway, features one of my favorite symbiotes from Spider-Man universe, and it is Venom. I love the way this cover looks, and on the back, I love the way it looks in the back. And this is a great film, but I like Venom Let There Be Carnage, which is the second Venom film in the series, and it shows Carnage in the second one and stuff like that. So Carnage is better than Venom in my opinion. I'm sorry to the Venom fans, but something about Carnage, he's better. Anyway, this is a great film, and I really recommend y'all watching this. Next, we got a special edition of Halloween. This is probably my most valuable 4K Ultra HD film. And it's John Carpenter's Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, this is a classic horror film from 1978. I love the way they did this in 4K. It's gorgeous looking. And it's written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Directed by John Carpenter. And it's from 1978. And on the back, you can see where it looks like this. It's pretty rad if you ask me. And I really recommend this. And when you take this off, it's like this. But yet, when you take it out all the way, it just shows the back. I think that's so cool. But really, as a steel book, one of the steel books I have. Great film, recommend it. Next, and the movies fall. Next, we got Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, this is a classic film. Going to be a classic film one day. This was a good Spider-Man film. I have to say, this was probably the best Spider-Man film out of the new generation Spider-Man. It says the best Marvel movie of all time. Something about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films is so nostalgic to me, so I can't say it's better than them. But this is a close number 4, or third, or whatever. But anyway, Spider-Man No Way Home. Over 80 minutes of bonus contents, bloopers, gag reels, Spider-Man Unite, and more. And this is a really good film, and I really recommend this Spider-Man film. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel superhero, in my opinion. So yeah. Next we got a movie, a controversial movie, but a very good film. 60th anniversary edition of a movie that starred Gregory Peck. and it is To Kill a Mockingbird. Now this is a good film. It's 4 times sharper than full HD. It says you'll never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk in it. And yeah, so this was a good film back in the day, I bet. And anyway, to me, it's a good film. I remember watching it years ago and I liked it. And I still like it to this day. So really, I could say it still holds up. And I gotta move these films over here because I dropped them by mistake. Trying to get them. Anyway, we got a few more to go right here. Next one, I love this film. This is my second favorite film of all time. I love my mafia movies and my horror movies the most. And anyway, this is the Godfather 1. I was going to buy the whole trilogy at Best Buy, and I'm like, no, that's kind of too expensive. I'll just buy them separate. This, number 2 and number 3. And I might just buy the coda version of Godfather 3 or whatever. Anyway, this was the 50-year anniversary of the Godfather remastered and restored. Winner of 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture in 1972. And I love this film. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I could really talk about this film all day. This is Scarface. Good film, recommend it. Next we got a collector's edition of a classic Roddy Piper movie, my favorite wrestler of all time. And it features the director John Carpenter that directs the movie. He's out to chew bubblegum and kick your ass. Anyway, classic film. Love this horror film or science fiction film, and I recommend it. Next, we got a 1980s classic Flash Gordon film. Great film, recommend it. Next, we got another 80s classic, The Shining, with Jack Nicholson. Now, this is a classic film. If y'all haven't seen it, I don't know what y'all missing, but y'all are missing out on a great film. This is from 1980. This is the movie that made that quote famous, "Here's Johnny." Next, we got the collector's edition of Child's Play. Now, I love this film. This is probably my favorite Child's Play film of all time. This is the second one. Wherever the one I don't remember what I was going to say, but anyway, this and the second one's my favorite. Next, we got Night of the Living Dead, classic film from 1968. Recommend it. And out of all the horror movies I've ever watched, I have the poster of this. I'm such a fan of it. They're coming out with a game called Leatherface or something like that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. Anyway, it says, who will survive and what will be left of them? America's most bizarre and brutal crimes, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's like this. And it comes with the steelbook. It's pretty cool. Pretty rad if you ask me. And I love this film. I might put it in after I end this video. So, yeah. Great film. Recommend it. Next, we got a good movie right here called Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson. This is a classic. Good film. Recommend it. Now, I'm going to do a very quick recap. And I'm going to end this video after I do the recap. Okay. First, we got To Kill a Mockingbird. And then we got Cold Pursuit. Then we got Halloween. Then we got Venom. Then we got Ellie and Scarface. Good combination of films. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Night of the Living Dead and Child's Play. The Shining and Flash Gordon. They Live in the Godfather. And let's see, Star Wars Episode 1 and Casino. Terminator 2 and Scream 2022, or Scream 5. Casablanca and Top Gun. and SpiderMan No Way Home. This is the Video Gamer 64 and Physical Media Guy 64 / Movie Collector 64 signing off. Hey, I did it anyway. Signing off.